My name is Haley Strahan, and I'm the Director of Outreach and Student Services for the College of Engineering. This is a major discussion for the Department of Mechanical Engineering. Our goal today is to answer any questions that you might have about what it's like to be a student in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, or what future that might lead you to, or any questions that you might have like that. With us today, we have Dr. Kendrick Aung, who is a professor of mechanical engineering. And we also have Brianna, who is an admissions counselor, and she can field any questions that you might have about general admissions. You can ask your questions using the chat option at the bottom of the screen. Some will be answered in the chat, some will be answered by me or Dr. Aung or Brianna, but we will do our best to answer all your questions. We're recording this session for posting on our website, and the recording will be closed captioned. All right, let's get started. I'm going to bring on Dr. Aung, and he's going to tell you a little bit about mechanical engineering.
All right, thank you, Haley. Today I'll talk about the Bachelor of Science degree in Mechanical Engineering at the Lamar University. So let me share the screen first. So as Haley said, I'm Kendrick Aung. I'm the professor of mechanical engineering at Lamar University. And my email is here, aungkt@lamar.edu. So if you have any question after the session, you can send it an email to me. So the first question is, what is mechanical engineering? So mechanical engineering is one of the broadest engineering fields. So we design and manufacture many products ranging from medical devices to batteries to airplanes. So mechanical engineering is responsible for transportation, specifically cars and boat engines, jet engines, and rockets. In power generation, steam and gas turbine power plants, and wind turbines and solar power plants for the new renewable energy sources. And we also design and manufacture commercial and residential systems such as refrigerators, refrigerations, air conditionings, elevators, and escalator for commercial building. We also work in manufacturing industry, such as in the assembly plants, conveyor system for material handling, and for example, like automotive assembly line robotics. So these are what the mechanical engineers worked on. So the next question is, why study mechanical engineering at Lamar University? So we are ABET accredited programs, and Lamar ranked number 5 in the nation for return on investment according to payscale.com. And the median starting salary of LU mechanical engineering graduates is about $87,000 per year. And many students got an employment as an internships and co-ops in local, regional, and the national industry before their graduation. So they have a very good and excellent job placement rate after that industrial experience. And the next reason is the curricula. So our curricula provides real-world, hands-on experiences with the state-of-the-art laboratories and industry-leading engineering software trainings. So these are some of the reasons why studying at mechanical engineering at Lamar University is a very good investment and professional opportunities for you. And our faculties provide valuable, results-driven, student-centered undergraduate education. And for example, our senior capstone designs, which works on the real-world projects that incorporate design, build, and test vehicles and engineering systems. So what are the scholarship and employment opportunities for mechanical engineers at Lamar University? So there are several scholarships just for the mechanical engineering major students. So this is the list of the scholarships. And scholarship value range from $500 all the way up to $5,000 a year, and based on the specific requirements and the academic achievements. And where are our graduate works? So many of the Lamar University mechanical engineering graduates are employed in a very wide range of industries, such as petrochemical companies such as Motiva, ExxonMobil, DuPont, Dow Chemical, BASF, ConocoPhillips, LyondellBasell, and then there are energy companies like Entergy, General Electric, and then aerospace industry like Lockheed Martin, NASA Johnson Space Centers, and then oil and gas industry like Baker Hughes, BP, British Petroleum, Siemens, and Energy Transfer. And some of the graduate student works in the local industry, which are located in Beaumont, like Olmsted's and Sage Automation and many others. So here is the recent, which is just finished, the 2020 graduate employment data. So this is a sample of the graduating students. So these graduating students works in several different companies, such as Fujitsu, Olmsted, NASA, Chevron Phillips Chemical, LyondellBasell, BASF, and so on. And the salary range from the range of $55,000 all the way to over $100,000. So what is the prospect if you're going to pursue the mechanical engineering as your career? So this is based on the US Department of Labor information. So according to the Department of Labor, in 2019, median pay of mechanical engineers are $88,000 a year, or about $42 per hour. And these are for bachelor's degree graduates. And the number of jobs available in 2018 for mechanical engineers are over 300,000. And for the future, according to the Department of Labor, job outlook is going to grow as 4% between 2018 and 2028. So the employment opportunities for the future are very good. So we talk about what is mechanical engineering. We talk about what are the scholarship and employment opportunities. So now we'll talk about what you're going to study if you're going to follow the mechanical engineering Bachelor of Science degree here at Lamar. So at Lamar, we provide a very flexible degree plan. So mechanical engineering degree plan includes technical electives, senior design projects, internships, and undergraduate research opportunities. So you can customize your own learning experience in many different ways. So the curriculum consists of 4 years of study and a total of 126 credit hours. So in the first year, most of the classes you take will be what is known as the university core classes. So these include physics, chemistry, calculus, English composition, history, and so on. So these are required courses for the state of Texas by the Higher Education Coordinating Board. So these courses are common to almost all the degrees in Texas. And you will start to see the mechanical engineering foundational courses in the sophomore or the second year. So you still have mathematics and physics, but in addition, you will start seeing the mechanical engineering courses such as statics, dynamics, mechanics of solids, thermodynamics, and so on. And once you have the foundational courses, starting from the junior or the third year, you're going to start to take almost all mechanical engineering courses. And these courses essentially form the basis for the design and manufacturing capability that you will achieve after graduation. So in the last year or the senior year, for all engineering students, you have to do what is known as the senior capstone design. So that's a 2-semester course. So you have MEN 4310, which is the first part of the senior design, and then MEN 4316, which is the second part of the senior design. So in the capstone design course, you have an option to choose many different opportunities, like you want to do the undergraduate research activities, or the designing a vehicle, or designing a mechanical system like refrigeration system. So you have an option to choose and work on the specific project as a team. So there are 4 years of studies and a total of 126 credit hours in the program. And then you can also perform and participate in the networking and extracurricular activities while you're studying for your degree. So in the mechanical engineering department, we have several student organizations. So American Society of Mechanical Engineers, that is the main student organization for our department. And if you're interested in automotive, there is a Society of Automotive Engineers. Or if you're inclined to aerospace, then we have an American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics. And for female students, we have a Society of Women Engineers. And not only these professional student organizations, we also have honors societies. So these are for high academic achieving students. So there are 2 honor societies. One is the Tau Beta Pi, which is for all disciplines of engineering. And there is a Pi Tau Sigma, which is specifically for the mechanical engineering graduates. So I talk about the department, the program, employment opportunities. So the rest of the presentation will be with the interviews with the recent alumni from the department. So the first one up is the Hannah Ross. She is a 2019 graduate, and she works as a mechanical engineer in Dow Chemical.
Hi, my name is Hannah Ross. I am a class of 2019 mechanical engineering graduate from Lamar. And I'm currently working at Dow Chemical as a maintenance engineer. I'm responsible for repair work and a lot of record keeping. So what that means is if we do a repair, I'm responsible for making sure that the spare parts are correct in the system, that we're ordering the right equipment, communicating with vendors, communicating with service providers, making sure that things are repaired to code if they need to be, making sure that things are repairable and the repair is feasible. So my job works a lot in the world of repair. I also interact a lot with the inspections group. So I've learned a lot in the last year about API codes and different requirements of inspections. I do work in the field every day, so I have a very hands-on job. It's very important for me to be comfortable going out in the field, climbing ladders, really putting my eyes and hands on the equipment. It's very important to be safe in this industry, so that's a big pillar at our job, something we really focus on. But I do work in the field every day, which is just one aspect of a mechanical engineering position. A lot of people I work with don't have everyday field jobs, but I personally really like it. Went to school for 2 consecutive years, and I was on the dance team for those 2 years. And then I took an entire year off to co-op, and then I started back again, and then went to school for 2 more consecutive years. So I started interning at the DuPont site in Orange in August of 2016 and worked there until August of 2017. That was a really great experience. It wasn't expected. I didn't plan on interning for an entire year, but it's just the way it worked out. I think it allowed me to learn so much about the field and gain a lot of confidence, especially when I'm working with all the different job roles that are out in the plant site. And then I started interning again at the same site after my 3rd year of mechanical engineering school. So I started again in May, and I worked there all summer full-time. And then in the fall, I worked part-time. And in the spring, I worked part-time, but I worked more hours because I was taking less classes. And I definitely think it, one, helped me get the job I have, because I said I worked at Dow Chemical, but they went through a transition. So I'm actually still working at the same site that I interned at. It allowed me to make great connections. It allowed me to gain tons of experience and really learning what it is that we're talking about in class. So interning is the most important thing I suggest that everyone do. Never give up, because it can get really hard and sometimes it'll be overwhelming, but you can do it and you can finish. And once you're out there, the world is your oyster, because mechanical engineering is so diverse and there's so many different types of jobs out there. So it's a really great field that you've picked. Just don't give up and work your hardest, because your GPA really means something when it comes time to graduate. They're going to look at that. So just work really hard and focus and study and spend the time that you have in school really learning as much as you can.
And the next up is Alexis Locke. She is also a 2019 graduate, and she is now studying for the Doctor of Philosophy degree at Cornell University.
My name is Alexis Locke. I just graduated this past May 2019 in mechanical engineering. I am currently a first-year PhD student at Cornell University in the Chemical and Biomolecular Engineering department. At Lamar, most professors will know your name, they'll know of you. And so when you start to slip or when they start to see changes in your behavior or different things like that, they are very good about coming and checking on you, not in a super condemning way. I've noticed that a lot of the faculty are very genuinely concerned. And so it was really nice to have that, knowing, going through a degree, knowing that, you know, if I'm having a bad week or, you know, something's going on and, you know, I do bad on a quiz, it's not going to be held over my head. And if anything, a faculty member may come and reach out and say, hey, is everything okay? As opposed to me being in a class of 200 people, if I get a 60 on the quiz, that's it. They don't even know who I am, let alone to know that that's not my normal behavior. So I really enjoyed the personalized learning that I got at Lamar. I think that when it comes to the engineering department, you kind of have to want to do research in order, so you have to pursue it. It's one of those situations where it has to be a kind of a self-motivation. It's not always explicitly just thrown into your face. There are going to be some professors that will say, hey, this is what my research is in, is anyone interested? But for the most part, you have to have an idea of what you want. And so with that mindset, I did the McNair Scholars Program. And then following that, I was offered a few research assistant positions with different faculty in the department. And through doing research with them and learning how to manage doing research and presenting research and things like that, on top of doing coursework, I think it really did prepare me not only for research in graduate school, but it also made my applications look really nice because of how well I was able to balance the two and kind of already have research experience. I think the biggest difference is how lenient the course load is. So, you know, as an undergraduate student, your class schedule is set. It's set up for you. There are certain classes that you are required to take, certain classes there is leniency in the electives that you take. With graduate school, it's your decision. I'm specifically a PhD student, so there's a lot of leniency in the entire course of my degree. So there are very few set courses, and then there's very few limitations on when I can take them. And so it's really important as a graduate student to kind of have an idea of what you want to do, because you have to make a lot of the decisions for your path yourself. So that's the biggest difference that I've noticed so far. I think that it's definitely something worth pursuing. I know that it is very appealing coming straight out of Lamar, especially because so many companies recruit at Lamar, and it's those offer packages from a lot of those companies are very lucrative, for lack of better words. And so it's very difficult to choose between, you know, a very high starting salary and then, you know, graduate school. So I would say if you're interested in it, at least, you know, set the time aside to look into it. There's always room to grow. There's always areas that you can provide your knowledge to. And I think that's the best part about graduate school, is knowing that you're not just going to work each day and then doing someone else's work. It's you kind of set aside a project that's for yourself, and then you're contributing knowledge to something that no one has ever heard of before. And so I definitely would say try it, or not try it, but definitely go for it, look into it, make it definitely an option whenever you are nearing the end of your degree, that you look into continuing your education, because ultimately, even after spending more time and getting more, those offer packages tend to get higher after that as well. So there's always benefits in it. And then also there are plenty of graduate programs who fund you. So there are fellowships that are offered, and then some will just simply fund you without the quote unquote fellowships. You don't have to apply for anything. The program will pay you to do your research full time. You won't have to worry about paying tuition and fees and things like that. So I definitely, like I said, think it's worth something to look into and consider as a viable option after graduating.
I graduated from Lamar fall of 2018 with my mechanical engineering degree, and then it had the built-in mathematics minor, so I did that too. Currently, I work at ExxonMobil at the Beaumont refinery. Well, at the Beaumont site, I was at the refinery. I had recently just made the switch over to the chemical plant. So I'm classified as a machinery engineer. I technically have two roles right now. Whenever I first hired on, I was a machinery engineer for FCC and light ends, which is part of the refinery. And then I got moved to being a machinery engineer in air max and utilities and refinery gas cold box, which is called RGCB, over at the chemical plant. And then I'm also now the air max and utilities engineering lead. So those are my two roles. I interned 3 times with Marathon Petroleum, so twice in the Galveston Bay refinery and then once in the Garyville. I kind of went through different roles. So I was in project engineering, and then I was in fixed equipment maintenance, and then I was in their reliability group for a while. It gave me a lot of the base knowledge that that pretty much everybody has that's in my field right now. But I didn't have to go through the 6 months to a year of learning all the small things. So, like, just the things you don't think about whenever you're in school, but flange sizes, flange ratings. I mean, I'm machinery, so I'm on the rotating equipment side, but it all matters. Like piping schedules, different types of welds, lubricant IDs, all of that was just out of the way for me by the time I got to work. And it, like, whenever you looked at my experience with also a new hire, but they didn't have the intern experience, it was very different. And our learning curves were very different because I didn't have to go through basic training of just how to operate around in refineries. Senior design, I was team captain of the SAE Baja. I mean, I would say in a lot of ways, I took a lot of the experience that I got from senior design into my actual job. So tube bending, welding procedures, looking at stress analysis, a lot of that was a very good practical exposure, and it prepared me for a lot of things that I wouldn't have really thought about at work. Just a lot of like the small bits of knowledge that you would kind of throw away in the back of your mind and not really think about people not knowing. It was really good to just have that, and I definitely gained all that from Baja. So got you to work as a team. Everybody always said teamwork is a really big deal. Whenever you start working, and you always think it's kind of a load of crap, but it's true. You have to learn how to work with some really difficult personalities, and then you also have to learn how to be effective together. So I would say out of all of my experience with Lamar and at Lamar, Baja was the one that followed me the most to my career.
So let's switch back to me. You have seen the 3 recent graduates talking about their industry and the academic experiences. So I'll conclude by saying that come to Lamar University and study mechanical engineering. And thank you for your interest at BSME program at Lamar University. So the floor is open for questions.
Thank you so much for all those experiences. That was so great to hear. I would just ask you, I guess, what would you say that sets Lamar Mechanical Engineering apart? Maybe when students are going out looking for jobs, what kind of gives them an edge?
We provide both the hands-on experience, intern and co-opships at the industry that you will be eventually working in. And then we also provide some kind of a industry-specific software training that industry can use it directly. So these are some of the unique features that you will see in the mechanical engineering at Lamar University.
What if you're an incoming freshman and you're not sure, you know you want to do engineering, but maybe you're not sure which type of engineering you're interested in? Do you have any advice for someone like that?
I would encourage you to essentially take the intro classes, even though in the mechanical engineering curriculum, we don't have the intro classes, but you might want to at least sit in on some of the intro to engineering classes and see what kind of discipline that you're interested in. And then eventually you can talk to your parents or relatives or the professional who works in the mechanical engineering field to see what are the mechanical engineering professional do, and then you may decide to pursue the mechanical engineering.
Okay, well, it doesn't look like we have any other questions, so I'm going to go ahead and just say thank you to you, Dr. Aung, for being here. Thank you, Leela and Brianna, for being with us today. And I'm going to share my screen right now. This is our contact information. I know Dr. Aung shared his earlier, but this is mine as well. If you have any general questions about the College of Engineering, I'm haley.strahan@lamar.edu. And as Dr. Aung said, if you have some questions specifically to mechanical engineering, you can email him as well. You can also go to find your admissions counselor at the address on the bottom. They'll be able to give you just general directions about how to apply, any questions that you might have about the application process, questions about housing or financial aid, things like that. Your admissions counselor will be able to point you in the right direction. And then you can also, if you would like to see any other of our sessions or just engage more with us, you can visit lamar.edu/visit. All of the previous sessions are recorded there, and you'll be able to see any upcoming sessions that we have. If you would like us to reach out to you, please leave your email in the chat and someone will reach out to you and get in contact. And with that, I'm gonna say goodbye and thank you again for being here with us today.